I'm Shirakawa from Ohe. Today I'd like to talk about what it's like for horse transport truck drivers.
So this is a new series for Ohe TV, right?
That's right, I want to talk about the reality of the horse transport industry, and that's something only we can do, so I'd like to start talking about it now. So this time I'd like to talk about the characteristics of people who can and can't make a lifelong career as a horse transport truck driver. Among the drivers who are currently active at Ohe, there's a pretty high probability that they came from a previous job, or rather, many of them changed jobs from driving other types of trucks. They become captivated by the appeal of horse transport trucks. Some have been doing it for over 20 years, and we have quite a few veterans with over 10 years of experience. Many people make it their lifelong job. However, there are actually people who join and then quit after just a few months. As for why, there are differences in skill, of course, but I think what's really important is whether you can do it with a sense of purpose. Even when things get tough, this is an industry where the people who can find a greater sense of purpose are the ones who stay. I'm going to talk about the real side of the horse transport industry without holding anything back, so please watch until the very end. Ohe is currently recruiting drivers. Check the description for details. If you're interested, we look forward to your application. Thank you. First, the characteristic of people who can make a lifelong career as a horse transport driver. To put it simply, it's people who are considerate.
A considerate person. Mr. President, what's the reason for that?
Well, horse transport trucks are always operated by 2 or more people, so it becomes necessary to be able to not make the person riding with you feel uncomfortable. What people often do is, after touching a horse, or after working up a sweat, or when they wake up, everyone uses things like Gatsby or face and body wet wipes.
Right.
They often use those things, using them to clean the dirt off their hands or wipe down their bodies to stay clean. People who sweat a lot will frequently change their underwear or spray their clothes with the deodorizer. Some people spray deodorizing spray. There are times when you can't take a bath, but when you get the chance, whether it's a bath, a hot spring, or a shower, you always get in and wash yourself off. This might actually happen, but people who don't wash their hands after using the restroom are disliked.
Are there really people who don't wash their hands after using the restroom?
There are.
Really?
I see it a lot at parking areas.
Seriously?
Well, also, this is probably true for any workplace, but because you're on duty with another person and living together at lodging facilities, of course it won't work out if you're not considerate of the people around you. In our case, we handle delicate creatures like horses, so you can't do this job unless you're someone who can treat horses with care.
You're transporting extremely valuable goods after all.
That's right. Our company's evaluation system itself also emphasizes personality, and, well, people who can build good relationships can earn the trust of those around them, and the work, the interactions between each other goes smoothly,
Because it's a job that involves danger, or you can't do the work well unless you trust each other, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Well, the most important thing is being a considerate person, as we discussed, but another is people who like to drive. Since they're long-distance drivers, people who originally like driving tend to last longer.
Yes.
People who like to drive often have a good sense for driving to begin with, so they also tend to grow faster and are more likely to stick with it. Well, but our company actively hires inexperienced people, so unless you really have an aversion to driving, veteran or mid-level drivers will teach you the ropes, so you can rest assured about that. Next up, the characteristics of people who don't last long. First, it's selfish people.
That's, the complete opposite of someone who is considerate, right?
That's right.
Yes.
It actually ends up being the opposite, but people who are unable to think about others or act accordingly tend to become isolated and generally disliked, so it often leads to them quitting naturally. Also, due to the nature of operating in pairs, if you are selfish, the relationship simply will not work out. That's a big factor.
Yes.
Also, it's really great that the horse industry has become increasingly popular recently, but people who join because of things like Uma Musume, thinking that horses are very cute and that they want to work with them, they often tend to have a hard time lasting for a long time.
Why is that?
Well, on TV or in games, I think they only show the cool, cute parts, those kinds of image-focused aspects, but in reality, just as the term horsepower suggests, a horse's strength is incredible. It's not uncommon for them to act up, so it's also a dangerous job, and, well, the behind-the-scenes work isn't all glamorous. Another thing is wanting to plan your days off. Well, I'm sure this is true for most people, but the type of person who wants to plan their days off precisely won't last long.
Does that mean the days off aren't stable?
That's right, the departure time and the overall schedule for the trip are almost always not confirmed or finalized until the evening before the trip, or sometimes even right before the trip actually begins, so the return schedule is also just an estimate or a rough guess at best. The return day often gets extended or moved up depending on various circumstances, so
It's really hard to make plans with family or friends, isn't it? Sometimes.
we will be properly addressing the 2024 problem, but even so, during the busy season, it's still quite difficult to take time off. Even if you can, it's hard to predict, so I think it's difficult to make plans. Also, we had someone like that recently, but they can't handle the intense pressure.
What do you mean by can't handle the intense pressure?
Well, you see, the job involves transporting racehorses, which are very expensive and delicate creatures. Plus, you're not driving alone, so you're also responsible for the life of your passenger. That sense of responsibility is extremely important, but people who feel the pressure too intensely have a tendency to not last mentally.
I had the impression that it was just like carrying expensive cargo, but I've learned that if you can't get used to the feeling of being responsible for a life, it's hard to continue.
That's right.
Sir,
Yes?
so what exactly is the most rewarding part of this job of transporting racehorses?
What many of our drivers mention is when a horse they were involved in transporting wins a major race. At our company, we have the opportunity to transport many G1 horses. So a lot of people say they're happy when a horse they were involved with becomes famous. Well, and since we go to many different places, we have lodging, particularly in Miho. And at the lodging, there's a lot of free time. So many people go out to eat at different places or explore new restaurants and places to eat. So a lot of people also say they enjoy being able to eat delicious food in all sorts of different places. Also, starting next year, including our response to the 2024 problem, I think the way we handle transport will change a bit. We're also setting up lodging in Rito, that's Rito City in Shiga Prefecture. Since we're establishing lodging in Rito, we expect to have more overnight stays there. So we have drivers who are looking forward to exploring the Rito area.
So since drivers get to go to many different places, would you say that people who can look forward to that tend to stay with the job longer?
That's right, that's also a part of it. It's difficult if you can't find something rewarding in it, I suppose. So, I've talked about various things, but to summarize, the people who can continue this job for a long time are people who are considerate, people who have a sense of cleanliness, and people who can find what's rewarding, or things they enjoy.
And people who like to drive.
That's right, that was an important point, a very important point. People who like to drive. To repeat myself, Ohe is always looking for truck drivers. If you're interested, please check the recruitment section, which is also in the description box. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching.